teaching online or teaching in person? Which one suits you best and which is going to make you the most money as a teacher? Let's get straight into it. But before that, my name is Massimo Koric. I have been teaching for the past couple of years now. I also help teachers or aspiring teachers build their passion and hobby into an income stream, an income source. I'm also the owner of Scenario.net, a website that we have I've built personally for teachers to be able to advertise themselves and get students. Students can log in, book with you on there. You set your own prices as a teacher. We handle all the marketing, all the advertising, all the things. You just teach. Makes it simple for you. But don't worry about that one. Let's get straight into it. So, teaching in person versus teaching online. What actually works? Well, in person, the good stuff, you get instant physical feedback that you can provide for students. So, posture issues, hand position issues, all the basic stuff with beginners. It's easier to read how a student is feeling. You can kind of get a vibe for what they're having trouble with. You can kind of see where the struggles are, and it feels more personal. A lot of students do prefer in-person lessons. That can be a bit tough if you're looking to do online specifically, or you're a bit shy about doing the in-person lessons. There's a lot more opportunity for in-person lessons, so I'd be definitely looking into that over online. But there are some hard parts about it, and that would be that you're limited to students in your personal area. There is travel time, so if you live in a busy city or a rural area, it can be long distances or a long travel time for you to get to a student, and that can eat into your fuel, and that can just eat into your day, to be honest. And it's also harder to scale beyond a certain number of students because your schedule is going to be booked out because you're having to travel. Travel is the biggest one. You're having to travel around to each student. There's time in between each lesson compared to online where you can just pump lessons after lesson with no issue. The basic, like the most obvious in the pros, is that you can teach anywhere and anyone. So you don't have to be, going around from place to place to look for someone to teach. They're online waiting for you. There's no travel. You just sit at home, teach, whether it's guitar, all you need is your computer and you'll be sorted. And your schedule is more flexible. You can say when you're available versus when you're not available. And the cons. So, the cons being that you can't physically adjust your techniques. So this is really big with beginners, where technique's the most important part. If they don't have the right technique when learning, when just starting to learn, that can become a huge issue later on. And your audio quality does matter quite a lot, as well as your video quality. So you gotta have to have a lot of capital to spend on a rig, on a system, so you can get low latency, good audio sound. You might need to soundproof the room that you're teaching in if you really want a high quality setup. So you have to be aware that there are going to be some cons to that. And teaching with kids struggle to stay focused on a screen. We all know it. They're sitting with their iPads or whatever nowadays and scrolling TikTok. You're going to be competing with that basically. So that can be a big struggle with online. What's the best format? Realistically, both work great. Both work perfectly fine. You could do a mixture of both, which you can do on Scenario.net, where we allow for both. You can do in-person lessons with students or online or even video courses, but whichever one you do is going to work for you. And the most important part is you don't have to wait for perfect conditions. You can just start straight away, start with what you have. If it's just a laptop and you got your laptop and you sit there and record or do a Zoom meeting, that works too. So these are my honest thoughts. Basically online is going to open your market up completely to not just your suburb or surrounding suburbs. This will be national, international, if you know how to market, which is the hardest part. If you're not able to market, then you got to go for in-person. In-person is great for building relationships. You can get referrals, and word of mouth is really going to push you a lot better in person compared to online. Online, you're going to be competing with a lot of other teachers. So have a think about that. As I was saying before, doing both is the best, and most teachers do end up doing both. You just have to know at what level you want. Maybe you want 20% in person, 80% online. Maybe something like that might be best for you. Start wherever feels most comfortable, and then you can expand from there. That's it for today. If you're ready to start teaching music online, the link is in the description for Scenario.net. We are looking for our first 10 teachers who are going to be founding members We are trying to stress test the site, figure out what's working, what's not. I want your feedback. So either reach out to me at contact@scenario.net, drop a comment, and subscribe just so you don't miss the next video, which is the biggest mistake that new teachers make. If you're a new teacher, this is going to be very important for you.